So this is our last problem for this chapter, question number 35. Let's look at the working note number 1. The existing capital of the company is just equity share capital at rupees 5 lakh. Each share price is rupees 100. So what is the number of equity shares? 5 lakh divided by 100, you will get 5,000 equity shares. The needed capital. And remember this question, please read the third line over there. The company is suffering from a loss. So this question number 35 is focusing on not earnings. The company is not having any kind of earnings. The company is at loss. Okay, so this is the only question which has loss and not profit. Okay, suffering from loss of rupees 70,000. So your EBIT is there, right? That is earnings before interest and tax, whereas this is loss. So this will be LBIT, or just you can write as loss. Okay, loss for the company is rupees 70,000. So to come out of this financial crisis, the company wants to raise a needed capital of rupees 5 lakh again. Existing is 5 lakh. The company is facing a loss and the company needs an extra capital of rupees 5 lakh. Let's look at 4 plans that they have. The first plan is all equity. So again, 5,000 equity shares at rupees 100 each comes back to 5 lakh. Second plan is combination. We have done a similar problem like this. Hope you can recall. It's a combination of equity as well as debenture. Total 5 lakh, out of which 3 lakh they want to raise in equity and remaining 2 lakh they want to raise at 10% debenture. So how do I calculate interest? 10% on 2 lakh. It's 2 lakh and not 5 lakh. 10% on 2 lakh, 20,000 rupees interest. Plan 3, completely debenture at percentage of 10%. So 10% on 5 lakh. All debenture. This third plan is not a combination. It's one complete plan on debenture. 10% on 5 lakh, 50,000 interest. The last plan again is a combination of equity as well as preference. 1 lakh in equity and the remaining balance, that is 4 lakh in preference share capital at 8% dividend. What is my preference dividend? 8% on 4 lakh. Don't make a mistake by writing 5 lakh. It's 4 lakh. On 4 lakh gives us 32,000 rupees. So this is my first working note. Second is, as usual, the calculation of number of equity shares, old plus new. So first plan number 1. Remember here I told you 5 lakh divided by 100 is how much? 5,000 equity shares, which is existing, otherwise called as old capital. That will remain common for all the plans. 5,000 for first, second, third and fourth plan. Under new capital, under first plan, do we have equity shares? Yes, all equity. So 5,000. Total will become 10,000. Under second plan, do we have equity? Can you see here? 3 lakh rupees under equity share capital. So 3 lakh divided by rupees 100, I get 3,000 equity shares. When I total it up, it becomes 8,000 equity shares. Number 3 is 5,000 plus 0. Why is it nil here? Because my third plan, it is a complete debenture. I do not have equity. The last plan, 5,000 plus 1,000. That becomes 6,000. Where did this 1,000 come from? Here. 1 lakh equity shares. 1 lakh divided by 100 will come up to 1,000. So these are the 2 working notes required for the 35th problem. Working capital number 1, existing capital, needed capital, 4 different plans, and the second working note, calculation of equity shares. Remember, the company is under loss. It's not a profit making, it's under loss. Let's begin with the income statement now. Let's move on to the income statement. Now, since this is a loss problem, we're going to start with loss before interest and taxation. That is given common loss 70,000 for all common plans. Then, since it's a loss problem, what we're going to do is, in the usual problem, we deduct all the expenditures such as interest, preference dividend, tax from the earnings. Now, since it's a loss problem, we are going to add back the values to the 70,000. So, add back interest. It's a reverse income statement. So, add back interest. Interest we come across only in 2 plans. Plan number 2, 20,000. Plan number 3, 70,000. plan 1 and 4 will remain nil. So that is loss before tax is going to be 70,000, 90,000, 1,20,000 and 70,000. Next, we are going to add back tax. Now remember, whenever there is loss, when company faces loss, it need not have to pay taxes to the government, but it is liable to pay interest, here a total of 70, but it is not liable to pay taxes. That is why we call it as income tax. If there is income only, tax will be paid. If there is a loss, then there is no point of paying tax. So that's why it remains nil for all the 4 different plans. So that's called as loss after tax will remain common. Next, add back preference dividend. Now even preference dividend you don't have to pay unless and until you have an income. Therefore, preference dividend is going to remain nil for all the 4 different plans. So carry forward the same balance. Loss available to equity shareholders, 70,000 under plan 1, 90,000 under plan 2, 1,20,000 under plan 3 and 70,000 under plan 4. Number of equity shares, as according to the working note we found out, 10,000 for plan 1, 8,000 for plan 2, 5,000 for plan 3 and 6,000 equity shares for plan 4. Once we divide the amount divided by the number of equity shares, the loss per share comes up to rupees 7 for plan 1, rupees 11.25 for plan 2, rupees 24 for plan 3 and rupees 11.66 for plan 4. So these are the accordingly loss bearing for each of the equity shareholders in case they adopt to any of these 4 different plans mentioned here. So with this we complete the last question, question number 35.